I don't care what the neighbors say. Ain't that the truth? The games that people play doesn't matter anyway now. All I know is the love my baby gave, yeah. The way she keeps me sane, the power in her gaze, yeah. Howdy, music lovers. Tom from Blakgraz here. That is a small snippet of the first verse from my song called Strong Love. Seemed appropriate today. In this video, this episode of Guitar N Gab, we're going to talk about some repairs on Rufus and some really good news we got in an email from a radio station. All right, y'all, let's get right to it. Howdy, music lovers. Tom from Blakgraz, back again for another episode of Guitar N Gab. I have not given up. If you don't know what that reference is into, check out our last video. So before I get going, as always, I want to thank Bugsy's Saloon in Enterprise, Alabama, for this super cool T-shirt I'm wearing this time. Whoa, excuse me.
And always having us back. Kathy is amazing.
Kathy and everybody
Smiley.
there is amazing. Smiley's got my 6.
Yeah, got your 6.
Everybody there is just wonderful. We love everybody. It's like a family reunion when we come back.
Lisa, Mark.
So that's for Bugsy's in Enterprise, Alabama. And of course, custom build guitars. Mr. Vaughn Shannon built this beauty right here. Even he said this might be one of the best sounding guitars he's ever made. This is Betty, and she's my D-sharp guitar. Don't ask why I do that to myself. Well, it provides a different sound. Also, I want to say a shout out to Jay Schaefer over at Healthy Protocol again, and thank him for the shipment for the Royal Velvet. That stuff, man, that really helps because you get sore. You get sore working on Rufus, you get sore lifting gear, you get sore playing shows, you get sore in my throat, it starts to get sore, and that stuff helps me recover. It helps me get through it, and it helps me recover really fast to be able to do it again the next day. Plus, it helps me sleep really deeply so that my throat and my muscles can recover, which is amazing.
Half the time you don't hear the dog waking me up.
I don't. I have gotten really good at that, actually.
Thanks to Healthy Protocol.
Thanks to Healthy Protocol. So check out royalvelvetnow.com if you haven't already. Use Blakgraz as a 25% discount on everything, including auto ship. I also want to say a special thanks to Jim Dunlop Manufacturing. See, I don't always do this with these sponsors, but they are so vital to what we do. They make it possible for us to keep moving forward. They believe in us, they believe in Blakgraz, and so we want to return the favor by promoting them and keep helping hopefully draw business for them because they're good people, they're good products. Jim Dunlop Manufacturing has had me as an artist for a long, long time now. I want to thank Julie Forrestal there for being so patient with me and actually guiding me towards these super, super cool looking picks. The black and the gold is awesome and people really love them. I've got pedals by them. I've got the picks and strings from them. I've got the pick holder from them. They've got so much good stuff. So if you haven't checked out Jim Dunlop Manufacturing, make sure you do. All right, so
and we're not getting paid to mention them in this.
No, I'm not getting paid. I'm just endorsed by them. I get artist pricing, so I still pay, but it's a discounted price.
And then same with Royal Velvet. He sends us product, but we don't make anything off of your discount.
These are not affiliate stuff where I get paid anything. It's just I believe in these products. I believe in these guitars, and I believe in all of these venues that we play at. We want to promote them as much as possible because they helped us get started, and they're helping us continue to grow. And thanks to all of them working together, it seems like it's starting to work, despite what some other folks in New York might think.
See the last video.
see the last video. So in this video, I want to talk about some repairs to Rufus, which is really exciting, actually. The front dash AC, since I put in Freon, thanks to Jody in Lexington, South Carolina, and his diagnosis, it has started working. The only challenge was the front housing cover for the evaporator in the front that's mounted to the firewall out here was loose. And yesterday or the day before when we were, I think it was yesterday when we were driving.
On our way here.
The vent stopped, it stopped being able to be controlled. So I started taking that part apart because I knew I had to clean it anyway and remount it anyhow, hoping that I could diagnose where it was coming from. Well, it turns out that the piece that does that decides where things go, where the air goes, is up here in the dash. But because I pulled that apart, I noticed that it's not damaged, it's not dirty, it was just loose. And so I was able to remount it with a stronger mount and take off an old suspension zip tie that was holding some hoses up away from the hydraulic jacks because they have a tendency to get hot and it would rub and damage the hoses. Instead of having it was mounted onto the housing, which was causing it to get pulled off the firewall, so I remounted that with a spring to the firewall. So now when it bounces, it can bounce a little bit, but it's not a hard jerk, so it won't yank on the hoses too hard, and it won't yank too hard on the connection on the firewall. So it's kind of like a double win. So now that's working better. The trick is to get it to work more efficiently because it's not until it revs at a higher revolution when it's super hot outside that it finally starts to blow cool air. But that's pretty normal because it's sending Freon 35 feet away from the engine where the compressor is all the way up to the front dash. So that's not, from everybody I've talked to, even when I talked with Doug today here on the phone, he said, yeah, that's not unusual for that kind of distance for Freon to travel. So we're on the right track. Things are going good with that.
Well, and we found that when you were putting up thing back up against it, I turned it back on to check and it suddenly started blowing. So we think that something just kind of got stuck.
Yeah.
And what we've been doing, because we have the stronger inverter, not that it wouldn't have worked on the old inverter, and we have the extra batteries, but the batteries charge while we drive, we run a small fan. So it's pulling the air from all the AC that's up front here where you and I are sitting right now and helps push it down
back into
the cabin and actually helps maintain and make it airflow but also cooler as a whole, so that way it takes less energy when we do stop to put on the top air for the cabin and cool it down.
Yeah. So that's a nice bonus. And as a side note too, because we thought we were having a challenge with the generator, the challenge is that in the extreme heat, each one of those air conditioners, we can only run one air conditioner at a time if we're using the generator. It's only 30 amps coming out of the generator. And in the extreme heat, it seems like those compressors in the generators pull more than usual. If it were cool outside, it wouldn't have to pull as much right away, for whatever reason. However, we've discovered that if we let the panel and the converter charge up and kind of get into their flow, so that spike of usage comes back down and it just kind of levels out, then we can turn on the AC and they work. So we don't need the compressors changed out and repaired. We just have to be more conscientious of drawing too heavily on that 30 amps, because when you turn the generator on, it still has the converter, which is charging the battery to charge, still has the water heater, and it still has the refrigerator that it's drawing on it as well. Anytime we turn that generator on, though, we turn the inverter off, which is battery to AC, so we don't have that running. So that's kind of a new aha moment for anybody who's got a camper and is going to be doing, their own kind of conversions and such.
About 2 to 3 minutes. Once it's been on, the generator's been on, then we can turn it on and it kicks on fine. And then what we do is, just to make sure there's not another immediate spike, not that the other items would spike it, but what has helped when it's hot and you're turning on the upper AC is we turn on that black fan to help push the cold air up and through a little bit easier when we're operating on just one. And then eventually we'll turn on a second one that usually helps circulate in the very back, and then we're fine.
It seems like if you space those things out, turning them on a little bit at a time, about a minute or so away from each other or apart from each other, that seems to have the best effect on the 30 amp generator. So the other thing that's happening on Rufus is that we found, obviously, when we were in Elkin, that back caliper is leaking, and we're trying to locate a caliper to replace it. And now it's been suggested that if you're going to do one, you should probably do both. And if they're not too expensive, I'm open to that. I would be more than happy to do that. But the good news is that it's not the bearings, right? It wasn't that the bearings are squealing and not getting oil and burning up. It's something to do with the brake fluids leaking out of that cylinder on the caliper. And we have some friends actually looking for calipers. It's another nice thing too, from our work that we did in Elkin. Jeff and his family have been extremely helpful. Thank you, Dustin, for taking your days off to help drive me around and find parts and put stuff together. That poor guy, he was so tired on the last day.
We owe him a big bottle of Malort.
Malort, yeah. We're gonna,
big bottle.
And we may see him the end of July to go and watch him drift in person, which is, apparently he's doing really well. So if you all are into drifting at all, our friend Dustin on Facebook, he's actually really getting good. He might actually get some sponsors soon. That'd be cool.
Yeah, he'll be driving to Hickory, North Carolina. So as long as it's on that Sunday and not the
25th.
Saturday when you have a gig, if it's on that Sunday the day after, we'll drive and go and haul A all through the night just to be there to be able to see him drift.
I think it's the 24th and 25th is the weekend of July that he's going to be drifting. We're not sure if it's good, because our 24th show is not in Hickory.
It's in
the
Elkin.
25th is the Sunday that we could get down to Hickory, which is only probably an hour away.
No, 24th is a Friday. That's Angry Troll in Elkin. Then there's the 25th. That's Saturday. I don't remember where we're playing off the top of my head. Yeah.
I thought,
because that's why we talked about going early to get the other parts and stuff done, because after the Saturday show, especially if he's got
24th is Friday, Angry Troll in Elkin, and Brown Truck is the 25th
High Point
in High Point. But then Sunday, if he's driving on Sunday the 26th, we can drive down and meet or up.
Yeah.
No, it's down to Hickory.
No, Hickory is up a little bit because it moves us like in the direction of Tennessee and all that. If I'm not mistaken.
Well, we can get to the 26th to Hickory because it's only an hour or so away from High Point. And then we're in Hickory to play on that Friday the 31st, which is super cool because we would already be in the area.
Yeah.
So if you're into drifting, check out Hickory, North Carolina on the weekend of the 24th, 25th, and 26th.
And hopefully maybe we can go for a ride and have you videotape you driving with him.
Yeah, I get to ride around with him. And you watch me going, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, so that'll be fun. So huge thanks to him, though, because now, thanks to his dad, Jeff, our old starter is going to be refurbished. So I'll have a backup starter now. I already have a backup fuel filter. I'm going to get a backup alternator, a backup water pump, and I already have a backup air dryer for the air system. So I'm going to start acquiring along the way extra parts because I know how to put them in now. I've already got extra belts that in case something happened, I could get us down the road to buy better belts or whatever. So we're starting to acquire these extra things. Plus, I just got the package at Melanie's place, which is the extra sensor for the fuel pump. So if I ever take off the fuel filter and that sensor is damaged or needs to be replaced, I've got one. So it's starting to get much easier to take care of Rufus, and he's starting to become more fun, more comfortable. We just have to be ginger and work him right. He's older, and be aware of his quirks and his little idiosyncrasies. Yeah, right, good word. His little characteristics or character, the things that make him unique, right? So that's the Rufus update as the wheels turn on Rufus.
Well, you feel more confident too with when we go back to see Beth and Jeff and Dustin before the Angry Troll show, so we know what we need to get. And that it's not that you're asking them to do it, you're doing the work, but you're just asking for an extra set of eyes or
expertise.
So it's like that deductive reasoning. Okay, this didn't work. Oh yeah, like when we left Elkin, all of a sudden, when we were after saying goodbye to Jeff at the shop, all of a sudden Rufus wouldn't start up. And when you got under there, you're like, oh, the ground is really loose. And Jeff was like, that's it. That's your issue.
Yeah, there was a couple bolts loose, actually.
Yeah.
They were so loose, it made me think that maybe when we first put it on, I didn't double check that we had tightened everything down all the way. You know, when you put on a big piece of metal with multiple bolts and you don't tighten them all down to make sure that they all will line up with the holes first, I think I may have forgot to go back and just double check them, because when I checked them after driving away from Jeff for a couple hours, we drove for like 2.5 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
Or was it 3.5 hours?
3.5, because we had to go to Tarboro for Melanie's place.
Yeah, so when we drove 3.5 hours after leaving Elkin, I got under again and checked it again, and they were fine. Everything was tight. So I think that's what it was. I didn't double check before we left, and thank goodness we stopped by the shop and just said goodbye.
Yeah.
So, but the other cool trick that I'll share on here that we learned from Jeff, and even Doug didn't know this.
Oh.
I told him today on the phone too. I said, Doug, did you know that on a diesel engine, when you change the fuel filter, you need to fill it with automatic transmission fluid when you put it back on to not only prime it to start again, but then it cleans all the cylinders and all the valves and lubricates everything. I would never have thought to put automatic transmission fluid in a fuel filter. But Jeff said he's done it his whole career as a mechanic. Every time he changed a fuel filter, he'd put that stuff in, and it cleans the system wonderfully. So now I've got a cool diesel mechanic secret from a really experienced mechanic that obviously, and my friend Doug, he knows his stuff. He knows he's good, way better more accomplished in that stuff than I am. And he's like, wow, I've never heard that before. So it's kind of cool to share that with him. I'm glad I can share it with you all as well. So that's As the Wheels Turn with Rufus. So then, if you haven't watched it already, please go back and watch our latest video. We got hate mail. It's pretty funny, actually. I watched it again just to make sure I didn't say anything.
I was editing, yeah.
I wanted to make sure I didn't say anything that I regretted, and actually I'm glad I said everything I said, in every way. But it's just funny that today, or maybe even was it last night, might have been last night after we filmed the video, I got an email from Brian Howell. Brian, thank you so much. You have no idea how wonderful the timing is of this request.
Well, we got to meet him, but you can get into that. Nice fella.
Wonderful fella. So here's how we met him. We were supposed to play the 6th annual May Day in Tuscumbia, Alabama. And that is right down the road from Muscle Shoals and Muscle Shoals Studios, which obviously is a huge, famous studio. What an honor to even be within a couple mile radius of it. It's like the glowing energy coming out of that studio is amazing.
Let alone be inside it, which shows that. Just like
yeah. So Brian, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to read this email really quick. Now, who is Brian? Brian was helping the May Day Festival, Lisa and everybody there, the organizers, to help promote the festival through his radio station, which is WFMC Jams. So they were doing interviews of the bands. That's why we drove up there early, was to do an interview with them at the park where the festival was going to be held, answer some questions to help promote the festival. Because remember, the festival is for a good cause. It's for veterans. And of course, I was hoping that we would be able to do it, but because of weather and they had to reschedule, we weren't able to make it. We're all the way over on the East Coast and they're way over in Alabama. It was just too far to drive to try to make it this year. I'm hoping that maybe next year we could do it. Lisa and everybody was wonderful, and all the bands were super wonderful. So, you know, God willing, we'll be able to do it, and it'll be a fun time for everybody. So he said, "Hi Tom, I just got this after this big long letter and all that crap, right? Hi Tom, I hope all is going well on your tour. I hate that we don't get to see you at May Day this year, but still following you on social media and loving, all caps, all the new music you have coming out. You are my new best friend." Thank you, Brian. I was just listening to My Mama Told Me, which is the most recent one that's coming out. In fact, tomorrow is I Just Want to Be.
No, yeah. Apologies.
tomorrow
I was thinking
is
my
I Just
mama.
Wanna Be.
I was thinking all the way, but yeah, my mama was before. It was last.
So I
time.
was just listening to My Mama Told Me this morning and jamming out. He likes it. That's cool. I would love to have your music in our rotation on station, and I know our listeners would too. If you are good with this, let me know the best way to get on that distro list, whether it's through a third party or direct. Thanks. Brian Howell, Promotion Director, WFMC Jams, Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville.
Mhm.
WFMC Jams out of Nashville. Brian, I'm going to buy you a beer and a hamburger as soon as I see you. As first thing I'm going to do is give you a hug, and then we're taking you out to dinner.
Whatever songs you want, you can have, dude.
You have no idea how wonderful it feels to get that kind of email after the last couple days with that stupid letter. Now, mind you, I meant what I said in the video I made about that letter. You know, I really don't care. I've had people say that stuff to me all the time, but it still takes a toll on you occasionally. You think about it, it's like, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I need to self-evaluate. Maybe we should reconsider. Maybe you start to quit. And now you have made it clear again. Another mile marker saying, no, you're on the right path. Keep going. Thank you, God. So, Brian Howell, everybody who watches this video, anybody that knows anything about Blakgraz and gets to hear about WFMC Jams out of Nashville, Tennessee, do me a huge favor. Flood them with love. Give that radio station listens, shares, likes, comments. Folks like that are the best kind of people, and those are the kind of people that we want to keep going.
I'll put their website address down in the description, and also once not just this goes up, but once we know that he's got some songs and has already puts them in rotation, we'll make sure we make some announcements and stuff, and support them and tag them as well.
Yeah, we're gonna do all kinds of everything we can do to help promote that radio station and the other places like Gino from New Jersey and Hamilton Radio. I love that guy. He's been playing me for
Big Daddy
years.
Rick.
Big Daddy Rick, yeah, man. I mean, we've got radio stations all over the country who are very, very kind to us, and we are extremely grateful to everybody. So, you know, I told him I replied just basically saying, listen, any song that you want to put on, you let me know, but tell me what styles you like, usually on your radio station, and I can make some suggestions, and then I'll just let you download them from my website. All I got to do is put a code in and you can download it for free. So basically, that's another piece of really great news for us. You know, we got these festivals that we're playing for. We're playing on 4th of July and Thanksgiving, which are typically
Halloween.
Cover band, and Halloween, that's right. Typically cover band strongholds. They don't hire an original project, yet here we are getting invited to play these things and making more money than we've ever made before. It's just such thank goodness it's an overwhelmingly positive movement, right? And it really is. Sometimes you just get tired, you know, you just get tired because of the long drives, the long nights, that maybe you don't sleep well.
There's not enough hours
Or
in the day.
there's just not enough hours in the day a lot of the time. But things are getting fixed on Rufus. Things are getting easier. We've got people contacting us now from Nashville, Tennessee. I thought he was Tuscumbia. I didn't realize.
I think he's based out of there, but they originated in Nashville, but he's got a couple of people that work with him that are between Alabama and Nashville, because where they are in Tuscumbia, that's not far from Nashville.
Memphis. It's not far from Memphis.
Exactly. So it's not super far from Nashville.
So, I mean, that's a music hub in itself, Tuscumbia and Muscle Shoals alone.
No, they're
I
on
was
internet
happy with
radio,
just that.
but still, I mean,
Who cares? He
well,
thinks-
that's what I'm saying. More people are listening to internet radio than even streaming on Spotify or the regular radio stations.
So that's the good news. You know, Rufus, as the wheels turn, he's coming together real nicely, and we're getting not only ahead of it, but we're now starting to comprehend the best ways to maintain him and keep him healthy, right? Rolling down the road. And then, of course, you got good news like this happening. And every once in a while you get this weird curveball, like a letter coming to a venue, and you think, it just feels weird now. But you know what? That's all right. Blakgraz is not meant for everybody. But I'll tell you what, if you've made it this far through this video, I can't even begin to thank you enough. So
I think people forget art is subjective. Music is a form of art. Paintings, clay, sculpture, books, it's all subjective.
It's funny, just as a last side comment, maybe it won't be the last one, but as a side comment, one of the things in that letter said I take myself too seriously, right? But I only do music because it's fun.
Yeah.
I don't do it because I'm so serious about it getting perfect and being the most beautiful song ever in the world. I mean, I used to try to do that, and all it ever did was got me angry because I never felt like I was good enough. So when I stopped and I said, well, wait a minute, why am I even bothering to do this? I play music because I just love playing music and seeing people smile and dance and have fun. So I don't care if a song is stupid simple and only has a few parts in it. As long as people are dancing, or kids are dancing, or people are just having fun, that's all that matters to me. I don't have a chip on my shoulder. I don't care if somebody's better than me or not. I just want to get on stage, play music, and have fun. And I can't honestly think of a better way to spend my life.
Yeah.
Well,
I would add too, what we forgot to say on yesterday's video about that letter is how they would test, that's Rascal moving, how they would test Broadway shows.
Okay, well, I mean, that's because this individual from New York busted on our friends and our fans. It would be pertinent to point out that he clearly, or she, has no real experience in the music industry at all, because if they did, they would know that Broadway shows would tour through Pennsylvania coal region first before going back and going on Broadway. Because if you could win over the blue-collar nobodies in the middle of nowhere in Dutch Pennsylvania,
coal mining region,
then you could win over anybody. So when I'm traveling around to these little crappy places playing to blue-collar nobodies who have no musical taste, right? And don't know anything to that elitist snob, the fact of the matter is that you have no real knowledge of how the industry works. If you can win those hardcore people over, because they are hardcore, if they don't like you, they will let you know in the most violent ways. I bet you've never been on stage and had glass ashtrays thrown at you, or people come up and try and grab your mic stand, or try to grab your guitar, pissed off at you because their girlfriend was looking at you thinking that you're hot. I bet you've never had that experience. People get angry when they drink. So if they had, whoever wrote that had any real knowledge about whether or who is the most important audience to win over, you would know that it's all of the little tiny places and all of the little towns that actually make the world spin around. So you on your ivory tower have absolutely no clue of how industry works at all. Here's a good example. Ohio, the state of Ohio used to be, I don't know now, but it used to be called one of the most normal states, and people thought that was funny. Oh, Ohio is not special for anything. No, it's special because it has an even blend of everything, geologically, politically, socioeconomically, demographically. They have an even mix, and so many corporations start in Columbus, Ohio, because if they can make it there, they can make it anywhere. Just like the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, for Broadway. How about the middle of nowhere for music acts that need to find out if there's an audience for what they do? What do? You go and tour. And if you have any gumption at all, or you're interested in learning, you want to listen to videos of people talking from the music industry saying, we don't sign anybody that has big numbers on their social media accounts or on their videos anymore. We have to know that they have toured and they have live bodies coming through doors, people who want to see them. So how do you make that happen? Well, you got to get out there and do it. That's how you make it happen. You got to go out and win people's hearts and minds and convince them that you're in a fun band to follow and to listen to. Well, how do you do that? You can't just do it through Spotify or any of the streaming services. You can't do it through social media. You have to show that you can go and play places and win strangers over. And I'll tell you what, every single show, not only do I win people over, but I get people singing along on songs they've never heard before. Every single time. So it's an honor and a privilege to play my music in these little tiny towns, in these little tiny places, for these wonderful middle of nowhere people. Don't ever think for a second that you're not valuable wherever you're coming from.
We love you.
We love you. Your perspective is everything, and we really care what everybody who watches these videos thinks. We really honestly do. And so if we didn't, we wouldn't bother making them.
Or unless you're just mean, then we don't care.
Unless you're mean and stupid,
move on.
Then we just move on. But most of the people that we've met around the country are the best types of people on the planet. They are the people that you wish that you could have for family, that you could have for best friends when you were growing up. The kind of people that will bend over backwards, do anything they can to help you when you have a challenge or when you're having trouble. And so it's fun to give back to them, not just with a good show, but with friendship, with good energy, with good wishes. Every time we see them, when we see them and we shake their hand or give them hugs and smile and laugh and talk about what's been going on. There is nothing better in the world than having that kind of community everywhere we travel, everywhere we go. So thanks everybody for tuning in and listening to this episode of Guitar N Gab. It has been a real privilege and honor doing this stuff for you, and I'm going to keep going. I'm not stopping. So please do us a huge favor. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. Check out our links down below. We have CDs for sale. We have merch for sale online, which is pretty cool stuff, actually. It's really neat. And we have some merch available at shows. But more important, come on out to a show, shake my hand, look me in the eye, and tell me that you like it or don't like it. Either way, I just appreciate you coming out. I'm ready to thank you for just showing up, even if you don't like what I'm doing. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.